Ah, that sound never gets old, Christine.
And now you can yell what you yelled a few minutes ago before we did this.
What is wrong with me? Everyone, I I think I can sense Gemini season is ending soon, and all of the chaos is really just like compounding within itself.
Well, look at the shirt I like subconsciously, not so subconsciously wore. It says Gemini season all over it. It was from a listener actually.
Yeah, at a live
Um,
show, right?
that's right. No, no, no. They mailed it to our mailboxes
Oh
and I
yes,
took both of them. I think I was like, these are mine now. One is
which
for
is
the podcast department, one is for me.
it's fun that they're twins of themselves.
That's right. I think they didn't realize what they were doing, but I took advantage. So,
But
hello, and
yeah,
now it is July. Welcome.
yeah. I just recently, I in the last time we tried to record this, I screamed, "It's July!" and we were in the middle of recording something else.
And I
It
was like,
was not. It
it's
wasn't
not.
necessary.
It's not. It's definitely mid June. Don't.
It was
It's not
not
July.
appropriate, and we had to start recording all over again.
I mean, it was fitting, but it wasn't exactly correct. But that's okay.
Anyway, welcome to our listeners episode, our seventh of the year, 7 out of
What?
12, which is crazy. Uh, so that means we're officially halfway done with 2021.
That okay? That's really wild because the drag of 2020, obviously, it was just like I know we don't even need to go there, but 2020 was such a drag, and now like we're like, okay, we're moving on, and suddenly it's like, oh, we're moving
Like,
on so fast.
yeah,
And I'm
rocket
like
blasting.
in a couple months, I'm gonna be like in a totally different life stage and space,
I
and I'm
was
like,
gonna say,
it's
yeah, a very
rocketing.
different what? That's a broad,
Very
broad.
different, blank, and put every word you could think of. And so I feel like I'm kind of like terrified, like rocketing toward, I don't know. I'm
Being
already
an
getting
adult
being a
officially.
grown up. Ooh,
Yeah.
having a human to care
I,
for.
again, like for like the fifth time in our friendship, I'm so glad that you're doing something before me.
Why do I do
So
that? Like I have so much anxiety, but I think I'm impatient. That's the problem.
I
It's like
am maxi relaxy, just chilling, not feeling the need to do anything. And you're like, I'm having a baby. And I was like,
I'm
whoa,
just
my
like,
friend, you do
I mean,
you.
I that's me though. Like when I was moved to LA and was broke beyond broke, could barely pay rent, and then adopted a dog. By the way, don't do that. It was a huge mistake. I mean, I love you, G, but like he knows it was the most stressful experience of my life. And yes, I do know that in a couple months I won't be saying that any longer, but at the time it was the most stressful experience of my life. And I mean, I did everything. I was losing money at work because I was trying to pay for his daycare, and he got the king's treatment. Don't worry, but it was like, what was I thinking? I wasn't prepared for this. So this time I am more prepared. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that to a child. But I'm just thinking like I'm just never. I don't take a beat. I'm just too
No.
impatient.
Meanwhile, my beat like ended all of that time ago, and
Your
still
beat just
haven't.
reverberates.
Yeah, I'm just a carbon copy of the last 10 beats, I think. Which I am so happy to be just so stress
No,
free.
I love it.
I'm gonna you will be the person I come to when I have a lot of questions one day. But
That's what a lot of people are
that day's
telling me,
not
and I'm
today.
like, can't promise I'll have any good answers. People
That
are
your
like,
kid's gonna be
"What's?"
all dented and shit from like being the practice kid for the whole group of friends.
Well, listen, I was the practice kid in my mom's, group and in her life, so I feel like this is what happens. Look at
Passing on the
me.
torch. Passing on the torch. Well then happy July. You now officially have 3 months left of not officially being a mom.
Oh, shudder. Yep.
What's I just Allison and I watched someone walk across the street with a stroller like yesterday, and both of us at the same time went, Christine's gonna do that one day. It
I
was
keep thinking that every time I see someone with a baby, I'm like, oh my God, Blaze, that's going to be us. Oh my God. And he's like, yeah, that's a person with a baby. That's what it is. And I'm like, it's shocking to my system.
nice to know he has zero 100% expectations are already met for him, and like 0% shock at anything.
He understands a stroller will be involved. I'm still kind of coming to grips with that.
Well,
Oh,
to those of you with babies, I don't know. I hope you're okay. And also to those of you without babies, I hope you're also doing okay. We're all living different lives, but we're still struggling. And also it's about to be cancer season. I don't know if that it helps some of you.
oh, geez.
It's not going to be great for me because usually the tailspin of Gemini season
That's
just becomes
exactly what
more and more chaos.
cancer season is a struggle for me. I struggle with it. It's a lot. It's a lot. But
Well, good luck to all of us white knuckling it throughout cancer season. So
we'll get it. We'll get through it. We love you. Any little crabbies out there, we love you. So welcome to your month.
Your month, finally. It's RJ's month also. He's a Cancer. Uh,
Okay.
makes a lot of sense with all of his swimming. Anyway, we
Why?
have,
Oh, because he's a crab.
yeah.
It's like, wouldn't that be Pisces? Okay. A couple
uh,
water related ones.
we have 6 stories today for you. So thank you, Eva, for reading them. Thank you to the 6 people who wrote in. Thank you to everyone who wrote in, but for these 6 who are getting featured.
Yes. Do you want to go first? I think I went first last time.
Sure.
I'm not positive, but
I'll still do it.
great.
This is from Rebecca. Rebecca, I don't know your pronouns. Uh-oh. So we're going with the default they them.
We
So
made sure to
Rebecca,
check. I don't think there are anywhere they say at the end of the email. Also, by the way, don't use my name.
I
I'm
just
pretty
I
sure
just looked at the
we
bottom and
checked. So
I
don't
just
worry,
checked.
everybody. Sorry about
So
that.
Rebecca said, or Rebecca's subject line is actual backrooms story.
Okay.
I already hate it. So this is a doozy, so let's crack into it. I was just listening to an episode on the Backroom series when I suddenly felt like I had experienced this in reality. Uh-oh. Suddenly, I had a Jimmy Neutron like flashback that had my brain truly tried to suppress. Do you remember the Jimmy Neutron
Oh,
brain
absolutely.
with
All
all
the
the new
neurons.
I had been volunteering in my local hospital when I was in high school. And since I don't like hospitals, blood, being sick, things that make a hospital, I was usually placed at the front desk to help out. I love that you even picked that as a job, by
Wow,
the
what
way.
a strange career choice.
One day I walk in and my placement was being covered. So I had to go to an actual floor and do rounds/drop off food.
Oh no.
I get up there and they ask me to go to the laundry room and get fresh linens for a patient. I'd never been to the laundry room, but had an idea of where I was heading. I get to a double doored elevator and I write it down. The elevator stops. I get off. Only then I realize it let me out the wrong way. No worries, I'll just get back on. Nope, because the door would not open for anything. I figured, okay, there has to be another elevator or stairs down this hallway. Please picture, if you will, a long corridor that has only track lighting above a few doors and then turns to the right.
I mean, that's exactly what I was already picturing.
Yeah, you didn't have to describe
Nightmare.
it. We're there. We're already there. And also, you're locked down there because the elevator won't help you.
Cool.
I start walking down this hallway for what seems like eternity and realize I haven't even gotten to a turn yet. I continue on and begin to hear voices and whispers from behind some doors, but not enough to convince me anyone real was behind the voices. I continue down the hallway and the amount of doors doubles. The lights are starting to hurt my eyes and the voices seem to increase. You've been walking for so long, you're going insane. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh my God.
Also, if you did hear a voice and it was an alive person, I'd still be nervous. I'd be like, why are you down here by yourself unless you're doing something real shady?
Behind this door that you can't apparently escape. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Trying not to panic, I decide to just turn around and go back down the hallway. That's when I see the elevator I had exited right behind me.
What?
Not down a never-ending hallway filled with doors, but right there.
No.
I press the button and the door opens right away. I step on and go back upstairs, and it felt like I'd been down there for about half an hour, but it had actually been 2 hours. So now you're losing fucking time.
Wait. So that's even more
Absolutely
wild.
not.
Because if you said, "Oh, I felt like I was down there for a few minutes," like that would lend credence to like the elevator was pretty close behind you. But if you felt like you were down there for a half hour, it was actually 2 hours, and still the elevator was right behind your back, like something is very wrong.
Ooh, I hate it.
Ugh.
My supervisor had assumed I was pulled somewhere else, so they sent someone down to do the laundry. So wait, someone else was also down there the whole time. You never even noticed?
Oh,
Oh,
maybe
she got
no.
on
I
the
think they were
wrong
saying.
floor.
I think they were saying like since she was supposed to be doing the laundry, or they, I don't know their pronouns. Since they were supposed to be doing the laundry, that they sent somebody else instead.
Yeah. I just agreed that I was or they just agreed I was pulled elsewhere, and so I finished my rounds and left. I really don't know what happened that day, but I feel it's possible it was a mixture of the back doors and back rooms theories.
Yeah.
It was possibly another space that also occupied the hospital. Also, it's completely possible that my anxiety turned me around. All I know is that seeing the elevator right there, right away when I turned to go back was the most chilling yet calming sensation. The whispers behind the doors were also incredibly surreal, as were the lights. They were almost too bright. I have always had strange occurrences around me. So I am no stranger to oddities, but this one my brain absolutely tried to hide from me. And this was my one brain, I think. Is Love you all. I met you both when you came to Long Island, and
Hey, hey.
we were the whole family that came to your show as a family
Oh, I
bonding night.
remember. I
Can't wait to
remember you.
can't wait to see you guys one day again,
We
Rebecca.
gave you so many hugs because there were so many of you. Wowza. Um,
Yowza. Wowza
I mean,
yowza.
that is so creepy. Obviously, y- like it's one of those weird glitches where you can't explain. Something's always off. Like either you didn't actually move very far, but then why had it been 2 hours? Or
Right.
it
Unless you
just doesn't
like
make sense.
the only thing I can think of is like you were so sleepy you passed out and had a dream and
Or
then
like
you
had
woke
some sort
up
of
or something.
narcolepsy or something, or
Yeah.
yeah, who knows.
Oh my
The
god.
other thing too is actually this sounds like a great way to avoid doing any laundry or any like you just
Oh,
get
yeah.
pulled away to the back rooms and you don't have
Maybe
to do it.
maybe something was doing you a favor and they're like you don't want to touch those linens. Like just trust
We
us.
know.
Yeah. But I'll like yeah, going down there and just walking just to like turn around and
Ugh.
like basically back into the elevator, like so it was behind you the whole time.
It almost like just makes reality like
No.
space and time feel fake, which is so creepy. Like
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, like the thing I am most certain about is that those two things are like fixed and it's like, oh, nope, never mind.
And that's the
Nope.
one thing humans depend on, and then never mind.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, well, speaking of that, I have one called Nurse Ghost Story, so I guess we're on an unintentional medical theme, unless it was
Okay.
intentional,
I
in
don't
which
know. We'll
case it
find
was
out.
intentional medical theme. This is from Bailey. Thank you, Bailey. Bailey says, "Hey, spooky friends. I'll keep the intro short, mostly because I'm a terrible writer, but thank you for being so fun to listen to and for being your awesome and authentic selves. I go by she, her pronouns.
Oh,
I have
thank you for
two
normalizing
ghosts.
pronouns.
I have two ghost stories for thank you. I have two ghost stories for y'all, and I'm a terrible writer, so I apologize in advance. All right, so I'm a nurse and I work on a neuro unit at a hospital. Okay, so maybe this was intentional. We'll see. Meaning I work with mainly stroke victims, brain and spinal surgeries, traumatic brain injuries, etc. I also work nights, which will literally suck the life out of you, but that is besides the point. So one night I was charting at my computer, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone leaning out of a room with a blue hospital gown on. And if anyone works in a hospital, you know, or has been to the hospital, me raising
Mm.
my hand, you know exactly the shade of worn out blue I'm talking about. I look over and they're gone, so I think maybe someone needs help or something. And being the good and helpful nurse I am, I walk down a few rooms where I saw the flash of blue gown, knock quietly on the door, and peek my head in the room. The room was completely dark and vacant with no one inside. This happened two more times that night where I was sitting to chart and I saw someone lean out of that same room, but every time they were gone by the time I looked over. All right,
Hmm.
that was a small appetizer. So here's the big boy.
Oh,
I think you're an
okay.
excellent writer, Bailey. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
hang on a second. Yeah, I think you're fooling yourself.
That's beautiful. So, to preface, my husband is a security guard at the hospital I work at, and he has access to cameras. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Okay, one night I had a patient who was on the unit because they kept having strokes. They wouldn't last too long, maybe 10 to 20 minutes, but they would happen at the same time each day. The day in question, the patient had not had their daily stroke. Their daily haven't
Oh.
had my daily stroke. That sounds terrible.
Oh. That sounds like it was a good day then, right?
Yeah.
Or I
Side
don't
note,
know.
this is not normal, and the doctors were trying to figure out what the fuck was going on with this weird phenomenon. So I get on shift and I'm like, cool, maybe this is over. Awesome. I'm so happy and relieved for my patient. Right. So it seems like a positive.
Yeah.
Everything was going smoothly. Then I got a call that the patient needed a routine MRI done, so I took them down to the first floor to drop them off. On my way to the elevators, I saw someone walk into the farthest one to the right of me, and the doors closed. I am very antisocial and have terrible social anxiety, so I waited about 15 seconds to push the button. Been there. So I wouldn't have to get in the same elevator as them. After I waited the appropriate amount of time, probably 15 seconds, long enough to avoid them, but not long enough for them to get off the elevator, I scanned my badge and pushed the buttons. There are six elevators that could have opened, but which opens? The fucking elevator that I just saw someone walk into a few seconds ago. As I
Oh.
walk up preparing my apology for making them wait, that's the worst when you let them go and then you hit the
Uh-huh.
button and it opens and they're still there and you're like, oh, now I have to admit that I was avoiding you,
You're
but
like, we both know what was happening here, right? Just
yikes. And now you're
busted.
late.
Busted.
So awkward. So let's see. As I walk up preparing my apology for making them wait, I realize there is no one in the elevator. The doors close and I instantly have a weird vibe.
Uh-oh.
So I make it to my unit, get off the elevator from hell, and continue on with my nursery duties, saving lives and shit. So about 30 minutes later, I get a call from MRI saying my patient is done and to come pick them up. I was busy at the moment, so I asked my tech, certified nursing assistant for hospitals and people who are severely overworked and underpaid, to run downstairs and grab them. Maybe 5 minutes later, I get a panicked call from said tech saying the patient is having another episode in the elevator on the way up and to meet them in the room. So I sprint to my patient's room, and sure enough, they're having their daily stroke episode, but it was almost all resolved by the time they were off the elevator. After I
Um,
make sure the patient is okay, both physically and emotionally, I go talk with my tech. The tech told me everything was fine and dandy until they got on the elevator and the episode started. And once they got off the elevator, the symptoms started to subside. Curious, I asked
hmm.
which elevator they got on. And my tech said the farthest one to the right, the same elevator
Uh,
I took up.
it's like that the person in there maybe is like a harbinger for something.
Something bad, yeah. The patient was fine the rest of the night, but the next day I gave my husband the location and time and asked him to look back at the cameras and tell me if he saw anything.
Oh
He
my
said,
god.
oh, I already have chills. He said, before I come into view of the camera, the elevator opens and closes it. Sorry, the elevator opens and closes on its own. Then he sees me wait a little and get on that same elevator.
So nobody was on the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's fucking balloonatunes. Are you
But
kidding
the
me?
other weird part is that it opens and closes. So like even there was nobody there, but also nobody pushed the button or anything.
You know what's so much worse is like she
Yeah.
she had social anxiety with a
The-
ghost. Like like that guy was on the elevator and you were like, oh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ah,"
I
and
feel
like he
like
was not even there.
that's like that book, The Gift of Fear, where he tells you by Gavin DeBeck, where he tells you like trust your gut. And sometimes if you're feeling like antisocial or you don't, there is an example where he says like if you are getting on an elevator and you feel uncomfortable, like listen to that feeling. I'm
Ooh.
like maybe it was your body being like I'm antisocial, but like reality, your body was like don't get on that fucking elevator. Something is
Yes,
wrong.
something with that. If you had to be in an elevator, also, what would have happened if you got on the elevator? What is
That's what
that
I
like?
don't want to
What's
know.
that 20-second experience
Oh, I
standing
know. You
in
end
the
up in that fucking hallway in the basement
Oh,
with
right,
Samantha, or what was their name? I forget. Samantha.
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
But no,
Sorry.
like it does make you think like in a world where like she got on the elevator. It's like, do you stand next to this thing for 30 whole seconds, or was she gonna watch it like vanish in front of her? Was it gonna say something
True.
creepy? Was it gonna be levitating in the
Or would she
elevator?
like turn to get on the elevator and nobody was in there?
Oh,
Like
okay, that would have been the best option, I
bleh,
think.
bleh. Okay, let's see. There's a little bit more here. The elevator opens and closes on its own. Then he sees me wait a little and get on the same elevator. It could all very well be a coincidence, but working in the medical field for a few years now, I know that it's rarely ever just a coincidence. Sorry for the long story, but thank you for all you do. Please, please remember to get vaccinated, wear a mask, wash your damn hands. People are dying alone and families are losing loved ones without saying goodbye. We need to work together to end this. Thank you,
Amen.
Bailey. Amen.
Wow.
Amen and hallelujah. So, wow, yikes, chills,
Whew.
gross. No, thank
Okay,
you.
that is. I'm glad that Bailey like avoided the situation, but I am there. I will always be curious, like, what would that ride have been look like? So anyway, I'm glad you're
I
safe.
know.
That's at the end
Are
of the
there
day.
cameras on the elevator? That would have been interesting.
That would have been so interesting. Oh,
Hmm.
I,
It's probably been too
hmm.
long to check, but
Oh my God, I just did something with my headphones. Honky talk.
yes, I can talk all day. Actually, I could talk for the rest of my life if you want
Damn,
me to.
I fucked something up on my headphones, and now I
Uh
can only hear
oh.
you on. Oh, there you are.
Hey yo, it's
Heyo.
me. Did you miss me?
I
Oh,
only
Gio
had you
just
at.
like burst out of the closet. Like, why are you screaming?
He was
Hello.
like, and it's me. It's me too.
It's me. I was gonna say one more thing, which was that makes me think because it's cool that Bailey had a connection to somebody who could like double check, but it makes you think of all the
Yeah.
times where you like see something weird and you can't double check it and you just write it off as like, oh, it must have just been my imagination. But like
Mm.
There's so many times where you probably could have had somebody, if you had footage or you had, something to prove your weird feeling.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I would like to look back on. It's one of those things where I imagine if you like end up at like the pearly gates and get to ask a
Oh,
question or
yes.
something, I have no idea what my one question would be, but one of them I would consider for sure is like, how many times was I next to a ghost and just had no fucking clue?
And had no
Like,
idea, or had a weird
or a
feeling, but
demon? When
couldn't
was I near a
prove
demon?
it. Yeah.
Ugh.
How creepy. And then, I mean, I already forgot about the whole beginning of like, there was that room that kept having somebody lean out of it and nobody was in there. Like,
See ya.
that was its own thing. Wow. That was only the appetizer, the appetizer,
That was the amuse bouche, is
the
what it
amuse
was.
bouche.
All right. Our next one is from Alex, who uses she, her pronouns. Thank you for normalizing pronouns. And the subject line is kids are scary. So,
that is very on brand for this month. Yes, for this year.
and it's lengthy. So I'm afraid to read this much about a child, let alone your terrible experience of a child, I'm
Just gonna
imagining.
sit here and absorb it, I guess.
Okay, so Alex says, hello, Christine, M, Eva, and crew. My name is
Hi.
Alex, she, her pronouns, and I'm a mom of two. I'm wine loving and soon to be forensic psychologist.
Let's
And
be
I
friends.
look forward to your podcast every week.
Look,
Look
I'm
at
holding
you
my Krampus and Mothman stuffies
while also holding a little baby as well.
and a
So
baby.
you've got the trifecta from hell over there, I think.
The three demons and me.
Me and my Louie, me and my
This,
three demons.
this is my. I think somebody mailed me this. This is from Cryptid. Oh shoot, Cryptid something on Etsy. Cryptid
Cryptid.
creatures. Cryptid
Oh,
comforts. Cryptid something.
Cryptid Comfort Shop is the one that I got you.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something different. I think. I'll look it up later.
They're really, by the way, like you holding those three little demons in your arms. It makes me think like someone should redo Full House, but it's all based in hell.
It's animated and it's just me and Krampus, and oh my
It's
god, I
like
love
two
it.
and a half men, but two and a half demons, you know?
2.5 demons actually works so well.
It works a little too well right now.
Like really weird.
Okay. Forensics, I look forward to your podcast every week. I have considered writing this story into you several times, but always hesitate because of how long it is. But now that Christine is expecting a little baby of her
Oh
own,
boy.
I feel like it is the perfect time to share, as this has to do with my firstborn daughter. And knowing your all's link to the paranormal, I have a sneaking suspicion that Christine's new baby will say or do some goose cam
Oh,
worthy things. Yeah,
I
you're
can't
probably
wait
right.
to call you every time that happens.
It's why I'm already so fortunate you're on the other side of the country. And like,
I did you a favor, okay?
you did. I was like, I really wish I knew your kid, but also, no, I don't. Like,
But
and
also, you're gonna not regret, yeah, being removed. You're right.
one day I'm gonna babysit the kid, and they're gonna just like whisper the creepiest shit in the corner of the room, and they're not even gonna look at me, which is the worst part. They're gonna be like looking at the corner
Looking
of the
over your
room.
shoulder.
I'm gonna be like, Christine, you didn't tell me your kid knows Latin. I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, they don't. That's weird.
They'll be just like levitating horizontally. I'm like, ah! Okay, let's start with a little background to my family history. I grew up close with my mom's side of the family and was lucky enough to have my great grandmother in my life until I was 18. All of my life, we would go and visit her, and she had quite the fantastical stories to share with me. It was rumored that her mother, or my great great grandmother, was considered a witch in her small town growing up. Wow, this is your ancestors one day talking
I'm
about you.
so happy about this already. I feel so connected to the story.
My great grandmother seemed to inherit some abilities as well, and she lived in an apartment on the 11th floor and swore that she saw her oldest son come to visit her one afternoon years ago. He told her goodbye and then walked out of the window, again from 11 stories up in the air.
Oh dear.
Later that day, she received a phone call letting her know that her son had passed away.
Oh
Whoa.
shit.
She also had a dream of her sister laying in a casket and woke up the next day to find out her sister had passed away. First of all, talk about the amount of trauma this poor person is going
Seriously,
through.
that's dark. And if you ever have a dream accidentally about something like that, you must
Oh my
wake up
God.
in panic.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. There were many other stories, but those two always stuck with me the most. My grandmother always also would tell me stories of seeing shadow people at the foot of her bed all the time as a little girl. And then there was my mother, who would claim to see reflections of people who were not actually there in the mirrors on several occasions. As for myself, I would get gut feelings about things, but nothing as extreme as the rest of the women in my family tree until I became pregnant with my first daughter.
Oh fuck.
Fast forward to 2013, I was about 3 months pregnant, and my husband and I had moved into our new home here in Kentucky. What is going on?
Wait
Hang
a
on.
second. Are we
Wait,
friends?
hang on. Wait, tell me if you recognize this place. It was a split level house, and on the upper level was a baby's nursery. Have you been in this house, Christine?
Oh, I look around me. Wait a second. No, just kidding.
It was midday and the sun was shining bright as I was upstairs painting the new nursery, which was a cute mint green and white stripe accent wall. I appreciate the gender
I we,
neutrality.
and we also needed to know the colors. I certainly needed to know what you painted
Love
it. So
a
thank you.
good green. Love a good green.
Love green.
All of a sudden, the doorbell started to ring over and over and over again. I sent my brush down and went to answer the door, wondering why someone would be ringing the doorbell so aggressively. I pulled the door open, and mid ring, it stopped.
No,
Ooh. No
no,
one was at the door.
no.
I played it off as maybe a wiring issue with the doorbell, but I had the gut feeling that something was very wrong and that someone was watching me as I had opened the door.
Shivers. Also, like you're painting the nursery. What an innocent thing to be doing while
Uh,
somebody just decides to
the
harass you at
most,
that very moment.
the purest thing you can be doing.
Yes, exactly. Ugh.
After all of this, after this, okay, sorry. After this, all was quiet and seemingly normal. My baby Stella was born in December of that year. She was a happy,
Oh,
smart, loving baby, and we enjoyed our new family and home so much. Fast forward again to when she was around a year and a half old. She was an early talker and could communicate very well. She nightly would walk to the front of the house and look out the window and point and say, "Ghosty man outside."
oh, forget about it. Forget about it.
Oh, no, no, no. That's okay. If I'm ever watching your kid and they say ghosty man outside, I'm calling WAG and they're coming to take care of the baby. And I'm going to
What?
go, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to be like, wait here until the mom gets home. They're good.
Here's their harness. Take them.
Now I love a good horror movie, occasionally would indulge in some Ghost Adventures episodes, but I was shocked still that she knew the word ghosty, as I normally would wait to watch those types of things until after she was in bed. If
Also, like
sent
they don't usually say ghosty on the show, so I
Can
feel
you
like
imagine if Bagel Bites was like, "Oh, a ghosty.
honestly, I can't. And
Hey, ghosty, I simply can't do this right now."
ghosty.
Hey, ghosty pop.
Ghosty. Stop. Em, you are on fire today. I'm not kidding.
We kept assuring her nothing was out there, but she would get more adamant and more descriptive as time went on. She started patting my head and saying, "Ghosty man hat,"
I can't
as if
stop.
as if someone was out there wearing a hat. She would
Stop.
she would say, "Ghosty man, eat apples." We had an apple tree in our front
Oh,
yard.
oh no.
Also, now I know that there are ghosts that are like totally ripping off your own garden.
Yeah, wait
Like,
a second. That's
hang
like
on.
not their property.
If I plant some tomatoes, are they like just chomping away over there and
That's what
they're
I'm
like
gonna
letting
blame
me
all.
blame the deer or something?
Honestly, all dead plants that I can't keep alive are now. It's now the problem of the ghosts, not me.
It was actually the ghosty just injecting poison into the plant. That's why it died so
Sorry,
quickly.
it like bit all the leaves off or something.
At this point, she was close to 2 and could walk very well. I had gone out front to check the mailbox and she came behind me. As I was about halfway down the driveway, she started screaming, "Run, mommy, run.
No, no,
Ghosty man, get you."
no, no. This child is either a maniacal genius or like the creepiest baby alive. Like
I so more than anything, this is the number one reason for birth control. If you have
this is
if someone out there is like, "Oh, I need to take my pill," but I'm like, "I'll wait 5 minutes." I'm sorry, someone's child just screamed, "Run, mommy, run, ghosty man, get you." So
pause
like
the
go take your
episode.
fucking pill.
Pause the episode.
I turned around to assure her I was fine and then watched as she got what I can only describe as shoved down.
No.
So something fucking yeeted this kid
What?
after like she called him out.
And she's been so nice to him, just calling him ghosty guy.
I don't know. She has been like
That's
really
true.
dishing
She's
his
been
laundry, like
ratting him out. Yeah, you're
really
right.
letting us know like he's eating our apples, he's wearing a hat. I mean,
I'm
it's
keeping
bad
an eye on
news.
this guy.
I saw her little back arch forward as if something had pushed her right at the center of her back. I ran and picked her up and said, "Fuck the mail," and rushed back inside, locking the door. And then came the awful day I was changing her in her room and she started thrashing around, screaming and crying. And she said, clear as day,
Oh my God, what? What?
ghosty man inside me, and pointed to her chest.
M. What the fuck,
Hey, someone wanted to win best creepiest listener story ever, and they're winning.
What the fuck?
Again, that gut feeling came rushing that this was more than I understood and could help her with. And at this point, everything had been outside, and I started to piece things together that maybe the doorbell incident when I was pregnant had. Oh, I can't even. I'm like, have such chills.
I'm so freaked out.
Maybe the doorbell incident when I was pregnant and had just moved in was the ghosty man basically trying to get inside the
See,
house.
don't open your damn doors. I'm telling you, folks. Don't
And
open it.
since she had opened the door and like welcomed it in theory by opening the door.
While she was painting the nursery too, like
I mean,
just like
also like don't spirits like when you're pregnant, like don't spirits like flock to that new energy?
I think so, or I think at least there's a theory that you're more in tune or more vulnerable. Yeah, like more open to that.
I don't know. I feel like this one is the like if you're pregnant, like they can sense new energy, and all of a sudden this thing would like sense that there was a new baby on the property and like came flying into the house, being like, I want to
Yeah.
attach to that. And then ever since the kid was born, there was some sort of weird attachment they had.
It's like that story we read. I think it was last month or maybe the month before, where the writer said that when their mom gave birth, that was the last time they saw that like thing standing by the bed, and then it like got passed to the child.
The fact that
Almost
it
like
happened so rapidly, like a full transaction had happened. Yikes.
so gross.
So anyway, it was the man trying to get inside. I was
God.
inside now, and it was inside now and letting itself known, let it be known to all of us. At this point, nothing was quiet again, literally. Chairs were scooting across the floor,
No.
cabinets were opening and closing, toys in the playroom going off, what sounded like a whip cracking at the foot of my bed in the middle of the night, experiencing night terrors, hearing a man's voice occasionally in the kitchen. And there was that one night where my husband came home early from work and I was in the kitchen with my back to the stairs, and my husband said, "Who do you have here?" And I just saw a man run up the stairs.
Oh, like who do you have here?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He really
Gross.
thought I was hiding a secret lover or something. He checked the whole house and no one was there. Friends would come over.
Secret lover who has a whip.
I
No.
almost wish that was happening. Oh
That'd
my
be
God.
better, probably.
It would at least be more manageable.
Yeah.
Friends would come over and witness and experience the same thing I was. I was really terrified for my daughter, but felt powerless. And despite my husband experiencing these things as well, he denied the possibility of something paranormal. I felt alone and scared to bits for my kid.
Yeah.
When she was around 3.5, I was pregnant again. Oh my God. Did you not learn from the last time? Oh my goodness.
Em told you.
It's like, come on. Like, what? Now this is going to happen twice. Okay. When she was around 3.5, I was pregnant again with our second daughter, and we decided to move to a different town. And I was looking so forward to escaping the current house, thinking that a new house would rid us of this bad energy or ghosty man. I was wrong.
No.
We moved into our new home, and almost immediately I started catching Stella in corners of the house. Here it is, having full conversations with nothing.
No.
It wasn't normal play type conversations either. Like when kids play with dolls and voice both roles of the conversation, it was her pausing, then responding, then pausing, then responding. I kept asking her about it, and she would say that she was, quote, talking to her dead brother, Daniel.
Stop it.
And by the way, she had no dead brother named Daniel.
Not. I am
Or
freaking
there
out,
was
man.
one time when she had, by the way, like that's apparently very common for kids to like be like something, if it's attached to a kid, we'll say like, oh, I'm a relative, and that way it's safe. And then that way,
Like, don't worry, we know each other, or like,
yeah,
I
and
know
then
you.
yeah, we're not strangers. You can feel safe with me. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, horrible.
And there was one time she had set a chair facing a dark corner. And when I questioned her, she said she was playing hide and seek with them and that they liked the dark.
This is so bad.
I'm literally living in a horror movie.
Yes.
This kept going and going, and she started to get irritable when I would ask her about it. And her conversation seemed to get more and more hostile. I would hear her scream to them, "No, I said I don't want to do that," or things along those lines.
See, that's scary. It starts off quote unquote innocent and then it like gets
I'm well,
hostile.
I would imagine the only thing a kid doesn't want to do is like maybe this thing was saying like hurt mommy,
Or
like
like break
something.
things. I've heard of like some being like break things so they get in trouble or like yeah, hurt somebody or break something or jump off a
Oof.
roof. There was one on one episode of this one of those cheesy paranormal shows where the kid was like, "I'm jumping off the roof. The ghost told me to." And I was like, "Oh no."
That happened, I think, in Amityville too.
Oh yeah, it might have been that.
Um, Now my second child was born, and I was in the family room one night breastfeeding her at like 1 a.m. All of a sudden, the entire house shook, and I heard a thud from Stella's room. And I ran back to see what the hell was happening. She was on the floor bawling and said that they had pushed her out of bed.
Oh no.
At this point, I snapped. I have two babies to protect and felt like I was failing. If these things can physically hurt them, I had to intervene. I got online and started researching every ghost paranormal group close to me, and I reached out to several and got a response back from one. I believe it was the Paranormal Investigators of Central Kentucky. Okay, so
I
there
was
you have it. If you're in Kentucky,
there's
paranormal
there's
what?
one near me called I forget, it's like the Ohio Valley Paranormal that's up in northern Kentucky. So there's central, northern. I can't help you if you're in southern, but
Well,
we got central and northern covered.
well, pick apparently they at
Love
least
it.
respond to your emails. So
Okay, good.
I received a phone call from their medium, and her name was Crystal. We spoke for a bit on the phone. She said something that shook me to my core. She said, "Your daughter is a very strong empath, and she has been protecting your family this entire time. This
That
all
poor
stems from
baby.
your grandmother's side."
Oh my
Uh,
god, it's so creepy how long this like goes through generations and things like that.
She had asked to come to my house to cleanse it in the name of God, even if I was not a believer. Yo, that's bad. Like that's how you know when it's like you don't even have to
It
believe.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Let me come here and do this.
God is like God wants to fix this. He doesn't even care that you don't believe in him. He's like,
He's like,
step
I
aside.
know that's supposed to be like a sin and everything, but like you need all the help you can get. And and asked to be able to speak to my daughter, and I agreed. Anything to help. Well, my husband found out and called me crazy. Okay, I don't know where you are in this relationship today, but in this moment, please tell me this man is not your husband anymore. I hope
Whoa.
think like in this fucking moment, he's calling you crazy and your kid's getting pushed around and shit. I hope he's had like a change in his opinion
Yeah,
or
I hope at least that
something.
yeah, that he came to understand this is more than
In this moment, I
your
would have been
mind.
like, it's my kids or it's you, pick. Like, it's
Yeah.
my kids. So let's see, where were we? He was calling you crazy. No,
You
no,
were
no, no,
telling them
no.
to get a divorce.
He
Got
was
it.
gaslight. Yeah, well, someone's gaslighting you and your kid's getting hurt. So I let me take this moment to apologize to absolutely fucking no one on that one. She My husband was calling me crazy for agreeing to let a stranger come to the home. I had to call Crystal back and cancel our meeting. Uh, she laughed when I called and said, "No worries, those malicious spirits already know that you have reached out and almost had them banished, and they will be quiet for a while, so you will let them stay. Just know that while it may be quiet, it will come back worse."
Okay, I hate that they're so aware that they can strategize how to stay in the home and how to keep you on your toes. That's so bad.
Oh
So
my
bad.
God. Yeah, the fact that they're like, okay, well, maybe she'll ignore it. And I mean, it's literally a toxic relationship of like, oh, maybe I'll be good for now until you forgive me.
Yes,
And then
I'm
like,
gonna
I'll come back
hide
and be
for a
even
bit.
worse.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, side note, now that I know that the husband was calling you crazy for bringing a stranger in,
Yeah,
that changes things a
you
little
kind of
bit.
stopped in the mid sentence, but yeah. I mean, yeah,
I was like,
I would
I
I
guess
would
I
be
forgive him all of a sudden. I
yeah, I would
really,
be very skeptical if Blaze was like, "Hey, I'm bringing some lady named Crystal over to yeah, I'd be like, "What are you doing?" I get it. I get being like, "Don't bring strangers over to the house"
I
cuz
get
I'm me.
that. This is a PSA though. If you are with anybody who calls you crazy and means it, do not just walk away. Just walk away because someone out there's
Yes.
gonna think. Unless you are like Christine and like just bananas crazy, then that's one
Unless it's
thing.
in a
A loving,
non-hurtful way.
creative way.
Yeah.
And
Creative.
if you're creatively crazy, then that's fine.
Or unless
But
you're really doing something harmful or hurtful and you maybe deserve to be called out, but that's
oh
a
my
different
gosh, this
story.
PSA has gone everywhere. Oh, it's
Yeah,
all over the
this is a
place.
dumb PSA. Why are we shouldn't be giving relationship PSA. We're in no position here.
I also can't find where I was. Just something about malicious demons. Oh, yes, 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 yes. So they're just going to be extra terrible after a while. They
Yep.
will be quiet for a while, so you'll let them stay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Sure enough, though, after that call, things did quiet down. A few months later, I was home one night alone and I was sitting on my back porch and heard Stella scream, "Mommy." Great. I went to run inside, but realized she wasn't even home. Okay. So, like,
Oh no.
so now this thing is mimicking your kids and terrifying you that way. Great.
Oh no.
I went to run inside, but realized she wasn't even home. Whatever is in our house was mimicking her. A month or so after that, my husband was home by himself and he invited our neighbor over to watch football. Our neighbor heard Stella scream from her bedroom, "Daddy," but Stella wasn't home then either. And my husband didn't hear it, only our neighbor.
But see, okay, I was gonna say not to like defend this guy or whatever, but just to say like we don't know because a lot of times when I see these stories happen, it's almost like the spirits or the entities like know how to split people apart and like damage
Okay,
relationships.
that's
And
true.
so a lot of times you'll see them be like, I heard nothing, I saw nothing. Like the one person will be like, I thought they were losing their minds or we had a gas leak because like I saw nothing or heard nothing. So like sometimes I feel like they gaslight you into like feeling like you're the only person who sees or hears it.
Okay.
But I don't know that that's the
You're
case.
right.
I'm
If
just
that's the
saying
case, let I stand corrected.
I'm
I
just saying
stand
I watch too
corrected.
much TV is all I'm saying. But anyway.
It's all terrible, and it's just really very bad. Okay, so, um, okay, and it says it spooked him to bits, so I am appreciating that, like, he's kind of on the side of this is
Yeah.
creepy as shit
Well,
now.
and he didn't hear it, which is so creepy. Like the neighbor heard it, which is like again, they're avoiding the husband at all costs.
Okay, I'm
Maybe they
siding
know
more as the story goes on. I'm siding more and more with the husband. I went from
maybe
0 to I'm at a 30 now.
maybe they know that the husband is the one who stopped the medium from coming and like they want him to
Oh.
continue to like believe this is all phony or whatever. Anyway,
I feel like this is that game where it's like, you have like serial killer tendencies if you can answer that question about the funeral. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
Where it's like the question is, uh, if you're if you meet a cute guy or a cute girl at your mom's funeral, but then you don't get a chance to ask for their number, what do you do to see them again? And like a lot of people will say like, oh, you kill your dad or you kill someone else next to you, so that way you'll see them at another funeral. But it's supposed to be like whatever the answer is, like if you answer it that way, then it just suggests you have like homicidal tendencies
All
or
right,
like
everybody, if you
or
just answered that, you better call your therapist.
or like manipulative tendencies, I guess is probably a better word. But
My dumbass was like journal about it and feel sad. So okay, I guess I'm not a serial killer.
I don't think so, because you are like reading the
Oh.
tendencies of these demons here, where you're like, oh well, they're just like trying to like really cater to the husband right now because he's going to keep the medium away. And I'm like, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure you're half a demon. There's
Maybe
the
I just have okay, tendencies. Okay. You know what? Okay. I'm holding two demons right now as a comfort, so you're
okay, that's
probably
fair.
onto
That's fair.
something.
Uh, and once the my husband told me about it, I was extra freaked out because it was almost identical to my experience. Aside from that, there has been nothing. I'm waiting for the moment they decide to rear their ugly face again and to mess with my babies.
Oh shit.
I also worry for my oldest and the responsibility she must be feeling to keep these spirits at bay and to protect
That's
us.
so sad too that she has to be the empath who like protects the family. Oh.
She's 7 now, and if you ask her about it, she gets a strange glossed over look in her eye and
Oh
will act
jeez.
like she has no idea what you're talking about. Damn, I mean, can you imagine the trauma for a
No.
7-year-old?
No.
If I ever had any doubts in the existence of the paranormal before, those are long gone. There is much more out there than we know and can control. Sorry this was so long, but this is our story and something we cannot share openly with a lot of people without judgment. Christine, best of luck with your little
Yeah,
one.
wait a second. What
Just
a
pay
baby
close
shower gift. Thank you.
just pay close attention if they start talking to a cursed church stairs or estate sale couch. Kids are scary sometimes, especially when they see and talk to ghosty people. Love you all so much and wishing you all the best. Okay, first of all, Alex, I really thought this was going to end with like the medium
Yes, me
coming and like
too.
I thought there was a happy ending here. I
We've
didn't know you're
moved on.
still living in
And now I'm
this.
afraid we're setting it off again by reading the story.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's so awful. I thought that this was going to be like, anyways, the medium came and fixed
I
it
thought
all.
Crystal saved the day.
Where's Crystal? What
Where's Crystal?
happened? We
Call
never even
Crystal right
heard.
now. Call Crystal right now.
Oh, I had to
No, she
call
she didn't
Crystal
come
back and
up.
cancel our
Yeah,
meeting
because
because the husband said no. Okay, tell your husband like this is maybe Crystal is onto something. Just give it a shot from outside the house maybe and
well,
just see what
because Crystal
happens.
said that it would calm down for a bit and then ramp up. So this is probably still that calm down period.
Which
So
means
I
it's gonna
feel
get
like
so much worse.
I
Oh
just
my
got
god.
shivers.
Shit, that's so terrible. The fact that that's happening to someone in real time.
We
Okay,
probably just made it worse.
I think we made it worse. Also, I like wildly criticized your husband the whole time.
Yeah, kind of, but
I
whatever.
thought he wasn't on your side,
I tried
Alex.
to be
That's what it
diplomatic
was.
here. I tried to be diplomatic.
I
That's
ran
all
with
I'm
my
saying.
emotions. I ran with my emotions. That was
I know
the
I'm the
difference
like
there.
impatient, spontaneous one, but I'm also very
I was just ready to
anxious.
fight for Alex. I was like, "Your husband's calling you crazy? What's going on?"
Well, no, yeah,
Oh,
that part's not great, but I mean,
uh, Alex, I'm so sorry. And if there's an update, can you call Zach Bagans? Like, can he do something? I
honestly,
don't
that
know.
might be honestly, this sounds like one of those episodes on ID or whatever, like where they go to families' houses. Like this sounds exactly like an episode.
Also, but like, I wonder, would he make it worse because he would? But he could offer maybe he knows people who can help.
Yeah, maybe
I
I
don't
would just
know.
call Crystal first. I feel like
I'd call
Crystal
Crystal. I'd
knows.
call every church. I would call the Vatican. I would. I'm so
When
sorry. This is
Crystal
just
made the
awful.
comment about your daughter being an empath, I feel like she's onto something. I feel like that's a good place to start, and then she'll know what to do if it doesn't get better.
Oof,
Call Pick.
Alex.
Was it Pick or Pack?
Call Pick.
Pick.
They are the paranormal investigators of Central Kentucky. Yeah,
Love
whatever
it.
happened to them? Oh, they just had you reach
Also,
out
I
to
know I
the.
said we wanted to be friends, but can we hang out at my house? Because I feel like even though I have haunted stairs, like your house sounds way scarier.
Grab coffee sometime.
Maybe on a
Wow.
third party, yeah, location.
The worst. That ghosty man inside me. Are you kidding me?
Very,
So like, no
very
matter
bad
where you
stuff.
go, the spirit is with you
And then they
if it's
moved
attached
and
to your
it came,
kid.
the fact that it came to the new house, something needs to be
I have
done.
such crazy chills. That's so terrible.
I'm
Wow.
freaked out thoroughly. I agree.
I don't even want to say thank you, Crystal. Like, I
I
mean,
hope
thank
you're
you.
okay.
Yeah, I just
I
feel
mean, I'm
so
glad you
bad.
wrote all that out too, because like, what if, like, maybe if you need somebody to help you on like a show or something, you can send them this email and be like, I wrote it out already. Here.
If somebody does know how to help Alex, I don't know, reach out on one of our That's Why We Drink forums or something. But
All the
yeah,
forums we have.
I'll well like a some sort of social media or I don't know if
No, why
I
don't
know
you
there's
just use the form on our website and write like subject, like helping.
uh-huh. Yeah. If someone can help, I think Alex is the person out of all the stories we've ever read. I think Alex needs the most help.
Especially because it's like so ongoing. Yeah. Maybe you write like
And children are
advice
involved.
for Alex or something like that.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Well, wishing you the best luck and everybody, can we all do a collective sending good energy?
Yes.
That would be amazing.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, I have an email from Katie. And wow, I hate the subject. It's aliens drag me under the bed.
I already
Eva,
like, mentally can barely keep us together now with the last story, and
I'm
now
so
there's this.
scared.
Oh my god.
Okay. Hello, Eva M. Christy. Oh, sorry. I should say this is from Katie. She, her. Thank you, Katie. Hello, Eva M. Christy, Geo, Junie, Mooney, Lemon, and everyone else in That's Why We Drink family. I found you guys back in August of 2020, and I've been binging the podcast ever since. I was
Aw.
listening to Listener Tales Volume 30, and the story about the alien encounters one of the listeners had just caused a deeply buried memory of mine to surface. See, now we're just causing problems all over the place. We're like triggering unrecovered memories, and like it's just
I
bad.
used to think that power would be fun to hold, and
Yes,
now
why did we think that? We did.
I thought it would just be a fun, quirky thing, and now I'm like, oh my god,
Now we feel like the power has overwhelmed us.
nailed it.
Yeah. Okay. A deeply buried memory of mine to surface. My memories are a bit fuzzy, but I'm fairly sure this happened when I was around 5 years old. My little sister had just been born a few months prior, and my parents had left us with the neighbors so they could go on a date night. They arrived to pick us up late enough that the sky was so dark it was black, and I distinctly remember there were no stars that night, which is probably why it was so jarring to see this fireball shooting across the sky so close
Uh-oh.
that I yeah, so close that I could see the yellow and orange flames on the outside of the ball. My parents were holding my sister and I on the front lawn of my neighbors as we all stood outside saying goodbye, and I remember them all commenting on it. Okay, so everybody saw it.
Okay.
We
Got it.
got back home and my memory skips for a bit, but the next thing I remember is laying in my bed with an intense feeling of dread as I started out my open door into the hallway. After that, I must have fallen asleep. Excuse me. Oh wait, as I started. Oh, sorry. Eva mentioned this earlier. It's. I think it's meant to be stared. As I stared out my open door into the hallway. After that, I must have fallen asleep because I opened my eyes to see a small figure standing in the doorway, staring me down.
Mm.
It was tiny, maybe one to
Oh,
2 feet tall. Oh, I feel like you've talked about creatures that are really short. Remember?
probably. That checks out. It makes sense.
I remember we brought it up in the grasshopper, not the grasshopper. Were they grasshoppers?
Oh, the praying mantis.
Praying mantis episode. We brought it up again
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it was tiny,
yeah.
maybe 1 to 2 feet tall, and a muddy grayish brown color with almost leathery looking skin. It was hairless, and I remember its eyes being big black orbs that took up basically its whole head. I'm so grossed out. This is
Are you
freaky.
kidding me? Okay.
I don't remember waking up the next morning, but after that, I developed a habit of sleepwalking. I would wake up all the time in the kitchen, on the floor, on the living room floor, facing the TV. And one of the most common places I would wake up was in our sunroom that had a massive fish tank. I would wake up
Hmm.
standing with my face pressed against the glass. That's
What?
scary. That's very scary.
If we're talking like just normal sleepwalking, that's already like really intense. But also, if it's aliens, then it makes sense with some of the other stories I've done, like even the praying mantis one, where people like the people who were somehow awake and could experience it, they weren't even sleepwalking. They were just kind of getting floated out of bed and
They
being
weren't like in control. Yeah.
they were just kind of and then they just kind of drop and wake up later in that spot.
But the worst place I would wake up, which also happened a lot, was under my bed.
See ya.
Okay. If I woke up
See
under
ya.
my bed at any point for any reason, I think I would have an absolute. I know I would have a panic attack,
I would
like a
have a
full
conniption. I would
on
lose
panic attack.
it. I would lose it. And not because I was under my bed, but because like I know I didn't get under that bed.
It's like
Like
how
I
and
didn't.
why and holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would be pressed up all the way under against the wall. Other times I would be halfway under my bed with my lower half under and my top half sticking out, almost like something was dragging me by my feet under the bed.
Oh my god.
This is so scary. And every time I remember when I actually did see a clock, it was always 3 or 3:30 a.m., of course. We moved out of that house, and after we left, I never had another episode of sleepwalking, or at least I never woke up in any weird places. Now, look, I know I was 5, so the fireball and that image of the alien in my doorway could have been my imagination, but the fact that I started sleepwalking after that seems a little fishy to me. I've always also been very open to spirits, and a lot of the women on my maternal side are sensitive in varying degrees. So it wouldn't surprise me if that somehow made me more susceptible to all kinds of experiences. I do have my fair share of ghost encounters and possibly a stalker slash murderer question mark, but
Oh
that's a
god.
story for a different time. Anyway, thank you for everything you do. You've made this past year and a half of quarantine bearable, and it feels like I'm hanging out with my friends every time I listen to an episode. I swing back and forth between team wine and milkshake, but I would say my lactose intolerant ass is more team milkshake.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. Anyway, well, so are you, right? So it
Yeah,
fits.
yeah.
Well, anyways, all my love to the And That's Where We Drink family, and thank you, Em, for introducing me to London Fogs.
You are so welcome.
Wow. Okay,
You are
so
so welcome.
Fireball, and everybody saw it. That wasn't a figment of your imagination. And that night, you saw or dreamed or saw an alien in your figure, an
Yeah,
alien
like you woke
figure
up to like a little creature.
that
I
same
don't know.
night.
It almost like it knew that you saw it earlier, or it felt like it could come. It was more drawn to you versus everyone else that witnessed something. Ooh, and then you're just waking up under your bed. Sometimes, but also like not to be that person, but like under the bed by the wall where it's like all dusty, like that makes
Yeah.
it even worse because then you have to like and like pat yourself off when you get up later.
And
So
like,
it's like
yeah,
scary and a little
and
shameful.
kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as long as your bed looks like mine, which is really dirty down there and dusty.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Yeah.
know if maybe you have a Roomba that cleans regularly, Caitlin, but
Or if you have depression and just don't clean under your bed like me.
correct. And there's just Cheeto dust down there, which would happen on just just a thought.
Oh, wow, that's awful. Just also the waking up with your face pressed against the like fish tank and stuff. Like,
Can you
how
imagine your eyes would
weird.
be so alarmed to see like for that
Yeah.
to be your first sight?
How
Terrible.
was your body even balancing that way on its own?
Well, no, like standing, like looking into the fish tank.
I guess, but I feel like my knees would give out if I were sleeping.
No, no, sleepwalking.
But then they wake up later like
No, they
that?
wake up. They wake up while they're staring into the fish tank. You know, like when you
Oh,
sleepwalk and then suddenly you like, I mean, I don't really sleepwalk, but like you'll wake up
in
mid
a weird
sleepwalk and be
space.
like, what am I doing? Or like you're like sleep eating or doing something.
The fish tank one specifically, I thought that they were like they had clearly walked to the fish tank and then they woke up later seeing that they had walked to the fish tank because their face was like still pressed against
I think that's what they
the
meant. Like
the
they like
glass.
sleepwalked to the fish tank and at some point while staring at it, woke up and realized they were like just pressed against it.
So creepy.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
creepy.
that's like one of those things. There's a TikToker named, I think her name is like Selena Spooky
Yeah.
Boo or whatever, and she does those sleepwalking TikToks, and they are wild and like they're hilarious, but also like creepy,
So
especially
scary.
if it were a child doing all some of this stuff, like talking to the corner and like yelling and like having conversation. I mean,
I can't imagine like at what point there had to have been a few first times before it became funny for Selena where like it's she just woke up terrified every time.
yeah,
Like
where her
what the
partner
fuck?
was like, why are you screaming in the living room? Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
Ugh. Okay, so sleepwalking is awful in my opinion. It just scares me, and then also so does alien encounters, and also being dragged under a bed.
It's
All of it
all
sounds really bad.
just in combination. No thanks.
This next story is from Megan,
Oh, come on.
who has two redeeming qualities. One, Megan says that her pronouns are she, her, hers, so she normalizes pronouns. And also, she said, "P.S. Sorry for all the Megans out there that ruined a good name."
That's
Okay, so
like all the
Megan's
Scorpios that say to you, but I'm a good Scorpio, and you're like, mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, what's your name? And then they say Megan. We've had a bunch of people at meet and greets be like,
Yep.
"Hi, I'm a Megan and I'm a Scorpio." And I'm like, "What?"
And I'm like, I love you. Let's take a photo after when I'll talk to you.
No, no, no. There the subject line is hundreds of tiny black shoes. I hate that.
What?
Um
Goodbye.
Megan says hi, and that's why I drink crows. So I have to admit that this is not my story, but my father-in-law's and husband's story, but it's too good not to share. When my father-in-law was young, he lived on an old farmstead in Iowa, far away from any other neighbors. He and his family had all sorts of paranormal experiences in that house, but this one stands out the most to me because my husband can vouch for it too. My father-in-law and his siblings all remember and swear to this day that occasionally a small green man wearing shiny black shoes would come out of the cornfields and taunt them in the evenings.
Oh my God.
Taunt them how? Oh, he would climb into trees and throw things at them and then
Well,
laugh.
that's pretty taunting to me.
When the children went in to tell the adults could not see him in the trees. Wow, so it's literally a little green goblin basically who's like hiding from adults and throwing things at you and
Yeah,
laughing.
it sounds like a leprechaun with the shiny shoes,
Yeah. Oh,
doesn't it?
Christine. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, oh.
Years later, my father-in-law took his family, including my husband as a teenager, to see the now abandoned farmstead to show them where he'd grown up. The farmstead was in disarray and part of the attic and roof had collapsed. And when they peeked in the farmhouse, they discovered hundreds of tiny black shoes. You've got to
Shut
be
the
kidding
front
me.
door
You've
and run
got to be
away
kidding me.
forever. Oh my
Uh,
God. What the fuck?
what on earth? Hundreds?
What the
Needless to
fuck?
say, they all took off in a hurry and never went back to that place, and it has since burned down, hopefully taking the small green man with it. First,
Oh,
wait, so there was only one green man and he had hundreds of tiny shoes, or were
I
there
think
hundreds of little green men? Either way, it's so bad.
I wonder if it was just like his final way of taunting them, like I was real all along, and like one pair of
Oh,
shoes wasn't
you
creepy
are
enough.
I know was just joking about like don't call people crazy. Christine, the way that you are just able to come up with the exact narrative that must have happened is out of this world. What is going on?
I don't know. I just kind of get the vibe of the perpetrators of these horrible, creepy acts, which again maybe makes me part demon. I don't know, but
You're at
Oh.
least part prankster, part demonic prankster, I
I'm like,
think.
I know what would terrify everyone the most.
I wonder how long those shoes had been sitting and wait for someone to come
That's a
back, or
good
did they just
point.
conjure in that moment?
That's a great point. Like Schrodinger's little black shoes. Like, were they there the whole time, or was
Were
it
these
just when
ones
he glanced
shiny?
in,
Were they shiny, or were they a little buffed after all these years?
or were
I
they
don't know.
dusty from all that sitting and waiting?
Ugh.
Also, what gets me? Okay, so there was. I mean, this is another podcast, but our
Ugh.
favorite show, Jim Harold's Campfire. There was a story of a guy who talked about seeing a leprechaun when he was a little kid, and he would always. I mean, this is kind of a spoiler, but it's from a really old episode. But he would always say, you know, I saw this little leprechaun as a kid and he would come to my room. And then he grew older and he was like, oh, that's ridiculous. Like, nobody sees a leprechaun in their room. And one time he was talking to his brother and he's like, yeah, I used to imagine this like little green leprechaun. And the brother goes, you saw him too? And
Oh, what on earth?
and
Are you
then he was
kidding?
like, yeah. And then he described him and he was like, he was a little man and he wore green. And so in my mind, sometimes I think like maybe this is how children like can um conceptualize it as like it's some sort of entity, but like it shows itself as a demon or a small alien or I
Oh,
don't know,
that's
man.
so gross. And then yeah, it makes you wonder like, oh, were the two of you actually like lucky enough to see a real leprechaun, or was it like, oh, this is actually a demon who was trying the same tricks on both of you when you were alone? And it's like,
Yeah, or he just happened to be green and you were like, "Oh, leprechauns are green," or who knows.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh gosh.
No
Wow.
good.
Well, thanks, Megan, for that. It would be even creepier if the husband and father-in-law, when they were running away, all of a sudden they heard some of the shoes upstairs start tapping, like they were running after
Or they
you.
came out of the trees like
Stop
from
it.
where he was
If oh
taunting.
yeah, if something started throwing things at you for one last time on your way to the
It
car.
hits the windshield as you're leaving. Oh my god.
I wonder what kind of laugh it was. I imagine like a creepy little prankster
Of
snicker, like a
course it was. Like a little
you know?
cackle. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Ugh.
sure.
Yikes, Megan.
Yucko. All right, this is our last story. This is from Kelsey, she, her. Thank you, Kelsey. And the subject is Guardian Angel Grandma connected during your listener episode. All
What?
right, I feel like we're a
We
little too close to these stories this month.
This okay, but the last few of these, the last at least, I don't know, half of them, we are really running the gamut between like the most terrifying thing in the world and also like a sweet reunion.
The most
Like
comforting, yeah,
and
yeah.
also a leprechaun demon. What was that sound? Did you hear that?
No, was it me? It might have been me.
Something sounded like a clap or something.
I hit my chest. That might have been my
No, that
acid
was not.
reflux. No.
Well, if you hear anything in the back, I did not make that sound. I was very
Well,
confused
if
about
you're
it.
watching the YouTube video, maybe whoever's they can see if I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, it went from like, oh, here's like the scariest child possessing demon in the world,
Yeah.
and then also my grandma is here.
Uh,
It's like
Um,
what?
they keep us on our toes, our little black shoed toes. These listeners,
Ugh.
they do. Okay, so this is the story. It's pretty short. I love listening to your podcast. I listen to it all day at work. I was listening to your listeners' episode about guardian angels while absentmindedly counting change to help a coworker break a 20 from my purse. A few random coins spilled out of my wallet onto the floor. I finished getting my coworker his change and bent to pick up the money. One of the coins caught my eye and I couldn't shake that something must be special about it. My dad collects coins, a hobby he picked up from his beloved grandmother. I sent him a picture of the penny and he quickly replied that the penny was incredibly rare and valuable. The only person in our family besides my dad who would have known the value of that coin was my great grandma. I take it as
Hmm.
no coincidence that during your guardian angel episode, my great grandma, a strong protector of her family, would choose to show me the little treasure that had been sitting in my purse for so long. Also, I should mention that the year of the coin is 1945, the same year my great grandma watched her son unite in the marriage that would give her my coin loving father. And that's
Aw,
the end of the story.
that's so
That's
sweet. And
beautiful.
also, I love that your guardian angel is also like giving you like prized
Some
collectibles.
monetary value. Yeah.
Can my Gammy show up with like a Princess Diana beanie baby or something? Like, I'm confused.
To
My
be fair, you have to
grandma,
already own it. Maybe she'll just like toss it out of
uh-huh.
the closet for you. Be like, here, sell this on eBay.
Oh my gosh. Well, did you
That's
also hear,
cool.
speaking of eBay, the Princess Diana, and then also the Beauty and the Beast video? Did you know that also went
No.
for like $5,000 or something? It was
What?
it was the ones, remember the old like puffy video cases for kids?
Like the
Like the
VHS ones?
Yeah, but like you know how there's
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
the
yeah.
paper one, then there's like the book one that's like
Yes, yes.
apparently that as Beauty and the Beast sold on eBay for like thousands and thousands
Just
of
that?
dollars. Uh-huh.
I mean, I
So if
have
you
that
got one of those
VHS.
in the puffy thing,
Like just a regular VHS holder? Like a
but with the
plastic one?
case. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of my VHSs are in those.
Okay, well then you're
Right?
sitting on quite a load of money. Congratulations.
Wait, for real?
I'm
What?
just I don't know what else to
I
tell
thought
you.
those were I can't imagine why that would be uncommon, but yeah, I
I don't know.
guess.
Maybe it was a fluke and someone like really oversold it. Like, but
Okay, I mean, sure, I'll look into it. I mean, maybe you're my guardian angel right now and you're just telling me what I already know here, what I
I
didn't
wish I
know.
was my own guardian angel and found a giant cash cow that I was sitting on. Anyway, I'm very glad that you were reconnected with your grandma
But
in some
what a
way,
cool story
Kelsey.
in that like it was already in your purse and your grandma was like, "Here, drop it on the floor," and like pointed it out to you, you know? It was
Yeah,
like she like
made you
knew,
feel like no, no, no. This one you got to ask about.
look at this one. Oh, how cool is that?
Wow, what a round of stories we've had this week
What a
or this month.
freaking roller coaster.
Again, so sorry to Alex about everything,
Are you
and
okay? Yeah. Please
thank
follow
you.
up. We're curious if like anything happens with
Yeah,
Crystal or if they maybe leave you alone for good. That would be great. Who
yeah,
knows?
and then thank you, Kelsey, Megan, Katie, Rebecca, and who else?
Bailey.
Bailey. So thank you everyone for writing in. If you would like to send in your own stories, you can do that at our website, and that's whydrink.com. We have a submission form for you to put in your own true crime, paranormal, personal stories, and they'll go into the running for next month's listeners episode at the
That's
first of every
right.
month.
I'm gonna real quick look online and make sure I get the name of this right. My little crypt. Oh my god, there are so many Mothman cryptids on Etsy. Maybe I should have. Well, we'll put the name of the shop in the show notes to make sure because it's cryptid something. I know
Mm.
that. We'll
Also,
put the name of the shop.
and just to let you know, currently the Beauty and the Beast cassette tape in the puffy white book
Uh huh.
case is running for 8,000 on eBay.
What does it have to be new?
It looks like it's in pretty great condition.
Okay, I mean ours is probably like destroyed by now, so it's probably not worth anything. But
Fun
my mom,
fact.
with all my luck, my mom's probably like, "Oh, I threw them in the literal trash." We'll
Or
see.
she'd be like, oh yeah, I already invested in that. Now I have $1 million
Oh,
in Beauty and the
listen, I'll
Beast
take
figures.
that. She can take me to lunch at least.
Well, thank you everyone, and we will tell you some more spooky tales on August 1st when we'll be officially
That's terrifying, by the
8
way.
out of 12 months through or almost through 2021.
Oh
So
wait, can I also? Sorry, can I request? I know we haven't done this in a while. Can I request a theme?
yeah.
So one day I do want to do like creepy little kid stories, but what about for now if we do like creepy like I don't know if this is too selfish of me, but like creepy like pregnancy experiences or dreams or things that
You are your own worst nightmare. You really
I know. But like my mother-in-law talked about like how she saw her daughter in a dream before she was born.
that happened to Deirdre's mom too.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. I love stories like that. Obviously, we don't have to make the whole theme that, but like if anybody has one of those, I would love to hear it. Because
Yeah.
nothing like that has really happened to me. So, I'd like to hear other people's.
Should
If
that be
this
one
were
that should that be one that we hold off on and do for your due date month?
well, I was thinking maybe later on we can do one of like creepy little kid, like creepy babies or creepy little kids.
The before and after of
Yeah,
pregnancy.
because I feel like creepy kid stories of like my friend, the ghosty man, are also just their own wild adventures. But I don't
It'll
know.
give us a few months for Alex to reach out again and let us know what's going
Yes,
on.
right. Alex, document what's happening and let us know.
Well, yeah, no, let's definitely do that then. We'll do creepy pregnancies or creepy parent-child relationships,
Yeah.
I suppose. And then come October, November, we'll do creepy baby stories.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. And
That's
why
we
drink. All right. Good, Eva. Oof.
Good picks.
wait, we got to stop recording because
Oh.
I can't.
I mean,
Bye,
it's
everybody.
creepy as hell. Yeah.